What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bad C, aka Nicholas Cage, aka Larry J. Blige, aka your mother's baby father. Yo, we back with another episode of your favorite song where we sit down with our favorite artists and we ask them, y'all, what's your favorite song be? And then I tell them what my favorite song it is from a fan perspective, shit like that. Now tonight, I'm very, very excited, man, because not only is this a Brooklyn Titan? Like I'm a little biased because of that, but yo, man, like I ain't even gonna front, and I'm gonna tell you in a second. I'm gonna give you your roses from me in a second to my guest. I'm gonna give you that in a minute, but yo, man, I really, really am a fan of this guy, man. Like word up. And ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have Rockness Monster on the joint tonight, man. What's good, King?
What it look like? What it look like? What's up to you? What's up to the peoples?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, like I was saying, I wanted to tell you personally that I remember being in school and looking on video music box. First, of course, it was Buck Black Moon came through. They did they thing. Now, what happened was I went to high school for a year in Ohio, so I was out there. I didn't get to hear what was really going on. Like I couldn't hear Stretch and Bob. I couldn't hear, you know what I'm saying, Red Alert and shit like that. So I ain't know what was really popping. The only way I would know is by watching like Rap City and shit like that after school or whatever. So boom, you know, Bob and they kicked the door and that shit was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Smith and Wesson came through. Shit was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I was back in New York, and then here y'all come. Now, I'm getting chills because I ain't really see anything like that as a group before. Like y'all's dynamic, you and Rest in Dead Sean P. Y'all, bro, I patterned a lot. I learned a lot from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for just as far as having personality and extending your personality. Like, everybody don't got it. You know what I'm saying? But you showed me how, if you got it, how to spotlight it. You know what I'm saying? Like I really watched it from performances to just everything. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta salute you for that because a part of Bad C is Rock This Monster. You know what I'm saying? So salute for that. You know what I mean?
You know,
So good.
a lot of MCs, have come up to me at one time or another and said that they were heavily influenced by what I do or what I've done, and then I hear
Yeah.
them and they crash, and I'm offended. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm offended by that. Like, how the fuck did what I do
Yeah.
influence you or inspire you to do that? Like, but
Yeah. Yeah.
once in a while, like, it's I'm proud of I'm proud of that right there. You know what I'm saying? But,
Yeah,
and this
man.
times, bro, because you go in.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that fair word because and that means a lot because I tell people all the time, man, to go from like I was right after y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it was sort of like seeing y'all pop was like wow, like y'all was superheroes to us, bro. Like we looking like yo, these dudes, like this is crazy, and then to be able to kick it with y'all now, like I tell my people like all the time, like my dudes that are back in Ohio that I was in school that year with, and I tell them all the time, yo, it's bugged out that I'm actually cool with a lot of the niggas we used to see on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like we dead ass fans with this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a lost art.
You from Brooklyn though, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
You know,
like,
I went to John Jay. I went to Jay when I came back. That's where I ended up going. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
know.
like with this shit, like I think with when it comes to hip hop and New York, like I feel like or you got maybe this may be just hip hop in general, but any of these main cities, main hip hop hub cities, like you know, like LA or New York City or whatever, you know, 5 boroughs and shit. Like, if you stick with it long enough, you're gonna get to meet your idols.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because it's a, you know, it's a kind of hustle. It's a industry. I don't want to say industry because the industry is the other niggas, and but like, it's a culture of it's a music of the people. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, like when we was growing up and, you know, and before hip hop blew up and shit, you had to know how to sing for real. You could have some of the dopest thoughts in your mind. You could think some of the most poetic, dopest, freshest shit ever. It didn't really, you know, it wasn't considered talent. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, you know, there was no industry, it wasn't no business, it wasn't, you know, none of that shit was set up. It's just that now, you know, back then you had to know how to sing to become, you know, either know how to sing or know how to, you know, or know how to fucking act to become famous. You know what I mean? And the fame would take you around the world and all of that. But you know what's dope about hip hop is you encouraged to be yourself. Like, you're using your regular speaking voice. You know what I mean? Most of us, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, you dress in the way you dress. You rap the way you talk. You know what I mean? You just being yourself. So being yourself, you know, that's the common man thing. You know, we common. So if you just wait long enough and you get on your grind, the grind gonna take you in many directions. Eventually, you're gonna meet most of your idols if you stay on it. You know what I mean?
Now, who influenced you? Who's the cats that
I've met
shape you?
Like, I know the answer to this. So like I rehearsed it. You know what I'm saying? Like I studied for a test. Like, it's so defined. There's forefathers on the East Coast and there's forefathers on the West Coast. You know what I mean? The forefathers on the East Coast are Kane, Rakim, G-Rap, and KRS-One. Those are my I patterned my entire flow originally after those niggas. Like, they taught me how to be a barbarian. You know what I mean? They taught me how to rap dope, not just rap, but rap better than the niggas that was around me. And that was because of their technique. You know what I mean? My forefathers from the West are Eazy-E, Ice Cube, MC Ren, and Dr. Dre. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
They gave me the freedom. They showed me that I was free to rap about how I felt, because I didn't feel good. I was angry a lot as a kid. I was pissed off. And, you know, I didn't know I could rap about that yet. I didn't know I could put that in the rap. You know, I was so concerned with just doing dope things with my flow and putting 20 words that rhyme together in a bar like Kane did, or, you know, tricky shit Rakim did. Like, I was more concerned with that, but I wasn't spitting my emotions, my life, my temperament, you know what I'm saying? Who I was. Nothing I really felt. You know, I was, you know, I'm gonna tell you like it is with my, you understand?
Right.
Like, you wasn't, you know what I mean? You know, I kind of got that from NWA. And then there are dudes that I learned from along the way too. Like, once I was older and I already had my flow and my attitude, it was certain. I got a couple of big brothers in the game. Like, I like to refer to them as, you know, I have my forefathers on the East and my forefathers on the West, but then I have my big brothers. And my big brothers in the game were Method Man, Redman, and Busta Rhymes. Those were my big brothers. Like, they showed me what to do with all of this excess energy and height and limbs and animation that I had, that, you know, none of those other rappers that I named, my forefathers from the East or West, none of them were doing that. So to speak. You know, Kane had his dance moves, you know what I'm saying? He had scuba scrap and all of that. But for the most part, like, they didn't have that all of the level of animation that I, you know, and I got that from my big brothers in rap. You know what I mean?
And it's crazy because when you mention them, Method Man, Redman, Busta Rhymes, I see you in that category. Like, you're in that. Yeah,
those are
you're in that.
You know what I mean? I literally, the time I met Redman was in a studio in California, and I promise you, immediately I watched him work and I changed the way I changed the way I do my ad libs instantly when I saw him do it. I was like, word, you can do that? Man, like I watched him do that shit. Like his verse was, it's that funkadelic, funk doctor spotting hellic, fuck a vest, niggas better start putting on helmets. And the way he did his ad libs, like it's that funkadelic, that in hellic, nigga, helmets. Like the way he emphasized it, I didn't know you could do that yet. And when I saw him, it was, and this was before I had a record deal. This was my first time ever going to California, and with the whole boot camp, like we was all out there, the whole grade 8 rather. And when it was time to leave, everybody, Buckshot had to stay. He was the only one who had to stay, and he didn't want to stay by himself. So he wanted to see, he was like, yo, anybody want to stay a few days longer? And everybody wanted to go home, except me. I was enjoying myself.
Fuck that, word up. Yeah, fuck that.
So I'm like, I looked around like, nobody want to go. I mean, like, nobody want to stay. I stay. And I stayed.
Yeah, word up.
And the moment they left, like, you know, the cars came and took them to the airport. Another car came and took me and Buckshot to another hotel. And when we got to that hotel, like, it was every rapper you could think of was in that hotel already. The song, Buck had to do a song for the soundtrack of the Panther movie. Not Chad Bowes, but this is in the 90s. This the
Right. Yeah. I remember.
Right. So the song was called The Points, and just think of everybody.
Yeah, I remember that.
Song, everybody who was on that song was in that hotel. That means Redman, Busta Rhymes, Biggie, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Coolio. You know what I'm saying? All these dudes was there, and Redman was already by far of the people who were there. He was my favorite rapper, and that was my first time meeting him. And I watched him do this. I watched him do his ad libs, and I was never the same ever since.
That's what's up. What's up. That's a hell of an influence.
Right. Now, granted, when I met and worked with Scott Storch, what I learned from, salute to Scott Storch, salute to all those brothers that I mentioned. Yeah. When I worked with Storch, he taught me something that kind of negated some of what I learned from Redman. You know what I mean? It was like he had this technique of perfection where when you do your ad libs, you should always have ad libs that match, or not. He didn't say you should always, but as he was producing the record, not just sitting back and letting me do whatever the fuck I do, right? As he was producing the record, he kept going to a point. He would let me do the ad libs the way I did it, and then he would always ask me like, all right, try to do one. Will you try to match the vocals of the lead exactly? And as I would do that, I wasn't used to doing that no more. I had already been rapping professionally for years. You know what I mean? But when I started, he would ask me to do it, and I would do it, and I would hear it. Like I would hear why he wanted it's that crispiness. You understand that crispiness on my vocals, you know what I mean? Because I got, you could probably attest because you got a deep voice too. Like when your voice is deep, a lot of your articulation gets lost in the face. Like a nigga can't hear what you're saying that well if you rap fast, if there's a lot of bass in the beat. It's like drawing on concrete with a black magic marker, or drawing on a tar, or a black empty bag with a black magic marker. It don't stand out well enough. So that was something I learned from him. So, and I've always been like, I learn from everything. Like I learn from everything. I soak it all up, whether I'm trying to or not. You know what I mean? Certain shit I learned, and I'll be like, I didn't even realize where I learned that from until I hear it again years later. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Son. And I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to give a nigga his props, though. You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas, they not comfortable with that. I think that's kind of whack. But I mean,
it's super whack.
But
word up.
You don't remember though. Sometimes you might really think you made that shit up. You know what I'm saying? What it is. It's a thing called cryptomnesia. That's the word.
Yeah,
No, you think you made that shit up, but you heard it someplace.
yeah. Got it. Something. Word. So look, we're gonna get to the business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you first what my favorite joint that you was a part of, or was your joint, or period. Rockness Monster touched, right? Now it was tough because I had to narrow it down. A lot of times with my past guests, it's always some nostalgia shit. So where I was at the time, who I was around. You know what I'm saying? Um, but there was another record. I can't remember the name of it though, but I know. But it's an acronym. Well, what's the name of the joint where you got the video and it's got it's an acronym. It's in black and white. It's
GW Bag.
Fire.
Yeah. Good gun.
That's it. That and yo, from my heart, bro, from my heart. Le Fleur, Eshkoshka. Yo, bro, let me tell you something. There's something about that. I mean, we could go on and on. Shit, fucking Operation Lockdown. We could go there. Like it's so many. But if I had to narrow it down to one, it's La Fleur. Let's go. Yo, bro, nobody sounded like that. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? And the beat, you was dancing on that, bro. And I remember the time like it was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Tell me about that record. Like, what was the session like? You remember anything about that?
Yeah, I remember. Like I remember we picked that beat because the beat wasn't that hard. You know what I mean? We was choosing from beats or whatever. And back in the game, we had to walk this tightrope kind of like we was too hard for the radio, so we had to be mindful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Remember that beat being the track being catchy. I'm like, we could get away with this. We want to do this because we about to spit filth on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was easier it was kind of easier to pick a beat that wasn't that hard than it was to rap softer. Because we rap the way we rap. We wouldn't compromise that. That was, you know what I'm saying?
It's a fact.
Knowing that it was and plus we did the A side to that. That was a B side. La Fleur, The A side was Blah, which like to this day, me and Starang Wonder don't really like that joint. Rupp didn't like that joint. I don't have an official word on Louisville and Top Dog and how they feel about this song. But three out of five of the Fab Five didn't really like that song or whatever, right?
Right.
But we recorded it. I mean, we might have liked it when we did it. We recorded it, and the call came for a follow up. Niggas wanted us to follow it up. Yo, we will put this out. We need the B side or whatever. La 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 la. And I just remember me saying to myself, like, cause I structured that song. I remember I had to put all of my, like, it was like, all right, everybody's going to rhyme paper, right?
Yeah.
And back then songs was three verses, and it'd be like, 8 and 8 and 8. That's already, we don't already pass the 16. You understand what I'm saying? We too long, so it was just a matter of structuring it. And I felt like, in my mind, I was like, I don't want to do shit regular, verse here, verse here, verse here. We're gonna mix this shit up, make this shit more, you know what I'm saying, more interesting, more fun, more, different. It was important to be different back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, after we all our first, so that made the first verse was 3 verses. You know what I mean? The second verse was 2 verses. That would have been, second verse was Ruck and Louisville. But then the third verse, it was like, okay, so how do we do this? All right, me and Louisville, we're gonna share a verse, Ruck, you and Strang share a verse, and Top Dog, you're gonna get 8 for Dolo to go ham with. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Just do it.
And it was because, and I was just in that moment, I just was just work. I felt like I was working with our strengths. It's not as easy as some people may think to go back and forth with someone.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So Louisville and Top Dog were our youngest brothers, you know what I'm saying? And boot camp is exactly what it means, basic training. Like we was training to do this shit along the way. Like Louisville's first rhyme was on The Shining. You understand what I'm saying? Like Ruck's first rap book was Nocturnal. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't like some of us were more experienced than others. So, I was one of the ones I was one of the more experienced ones, even though I didn't never put out no record yet. But just my grasp of, the art of rap was a little bit deep, a little bit more solid. So I was like, I felt like trying to put Dog in a back-to-back verse, I felt like that would have been too difficult. And ain't nobody else that was on that. Like for him and Louisville, they were our two youngest and newest rappers. I wouldn't leave that to them on their own. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take Louisville because I'm the most patient. I got more patience than Ruck. So I made it easy for them. I'm like, Ruck and Strang were already kind of you know what I'm saying? They were better. I say this, I love my brothers, they know, right? I put them together because I knew I wouldn't have to watch them. They would do well. I let Dio do his own thing because of that. And I was like, I'll work with Louisville, right?
Yeah.
Louisville, that's my June bug. Like, I brung him in. He's from my building. Louisville's uncle was my day one nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I got you, little bro. And that's how we did that. And then when it came down to it, nobody knew what the chorus was going to be until the song was over, until all of the verses was done already. But I knew already. Like, while they were doing their verses, I was just working out the words. I already had the structure and I had the yes, y'all. I just didn't have the words yet. Once niggas was finished laying the verses down, I was like, all right. He gave me another 5-10 minutes and I filled in the blanks and I went and laid down.
But hold on. But what is Le Fleur Escoshka? And who named that? That was you?
Nah, that was rough. Like Le Fleur didn't really mean nothing. Escoshka kind of had a meaning, and it's a word we created because Strang created that word. He did that word. He made that word up during a game of fucking Coach K. Remember when came out, the college version of it came out. It was Coach K, and on Coach K, you could break the backboard. You understand what I'm saying? And when Strang break backboards on a nigga, he would scream at Scotia. That wasn't the only thing he screamed. It would be like, Jesus, Jehoshaphat. Like it was like what oh my Lord Jesus, Scotia. You understand what I'm saying? It didn't really mean nothing. You understand what I'm saying? But if you the word, and after the chorus was laid, Ruck said, hold on a second. Let me add one thing. And he added that. That was it.
Fire. That's classic. I love that record. Y'all make sure y'all go stream that, run the numbers up on Le Fleur Escoshka. One of my favorite joints of all time, hip hop, period. Now, this is the point everybody wanna know, man. To Rockness Monster. Now, this record could be a record that never came out. It could be a record that you was featured on. It could be a solo record. It could be a group record. What's your favorite joint to you? Also, wait, before you even do that, yo, salute to I Ain't Having That. Yo, you went crazy on that shit too. I gotta throw that in the pot too.
That was another one. That was another one of those records where I heard it. When I heard the beat, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a single, right? I decided that before one rap was on it. I just heard the beat because I love that beat so much. So I structured that the same way. I was like, oh, we're going to do, we don't want it to be regular, one verse, two verse. And then Doc, my man Doc Holliday was on that song. And Doc, he's a big brother to all of us, you know what I'm saying? And, it was just
like we didn't like Doc wasn't even a rapper, but he just decided he heard that shit and was like, "Yeah, on some homeboy shit," and it was like,
Yeah.
and it was like, and I was like, "Good man." I'm like, "You smart, because this is gonna be a single right here." Like I used to try to turn all my friends into rappers. So it was all,
Why not? Yo, the nigga String bodied that shit too.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
That
Jesus
is
Christ.
that's one of my favorite singles about it. I won't lie. I was up there.
So if you had to narrow it down though to one record.
Nah, to one record is really hard because for me, lyricism is king. You know, like the bars is king. Like I could have had all of the dope vibes, the dope this, the dope time I lived in, and all of that shit, all of those things considered, but they go all out the window when it comes down to my favorite. Because I'm just thinking about how much I love the song, period, for its content, like the beat and the bar. And if and like for the bars, I could say one of my best lyrical masterpieces, bar wise, is on a joint. Is and up until just now, that was my choice. But just as I was speaking, I was saying to myself, that's not my favorite beat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the favorite beat and favorite rhyme don't combine. But like as far as favorite rhyme shit though, it's a joint I got on Rockness AP. It's called Just Rap.
It's called what?
It's called Just Rap. And like my bar work was out of here.
Yeah.
Out of here, my nigga. Like fucking bars go. And it was and again, it's Wild P influence on it. It was one of those rhymes where I say, like at the beginning of the song, you hear me say, I'm like, yo, I'm just thinking about P. You know, we used to have these conversations and I would be like, yo, I got certain rhymes that's for the Healthy Skelter shit. I got certain rhymes that's for the Rockness Monster shit. I got certain rhymes for the Sackman Street Jake. He like, yo, fuck all that shit. Just rap, nigga. Just rap. You think too much, nigga. Just rap. Even when I'm writing for a Healthy Skelter, like if I'm taking too long to write a verse, he'd be like, you thinking too much, nigga. Just rap. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this was a joint where I decided to just rap. Like I'm gonna just rap. And just do all of it. Just do the dirt, right? And just like of the things that I praise most in hip hop with, you know, just punchlines and flow and wittiness and multiple entendres and slick, like that shit is probably the best that's ever on a record to this day. You know what I mean? The first bars are do re mi fa sol la ti do, and I said for that do re and mi go far. So don't lie, Tito.
Right? Yo, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, it's crazy.
And for that do me and Ray go far, like that shit even mean more to me that my man Ray is out of jail, my man Guns, right? Like that shit is autobiographic. I wanted him there when I shot the video so I could throw my arm around him and remind, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how, like the way I'm able to blend dumb shit with real shit and smart shit together and all this roller coaster flows. I really feel like I put myself up against, you know, people think I'm just talking shit when I tell niggas I'm my favorite rapper. Nigga, if Jay-Z was my favorite rapper, I would rap like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I like this shit. Like, I'm doing what I think is dopest. You understand what I'm saying? Santana looking ass. Long clips, banana rammer. It's gonna be a cruel summer, better have your slammer, a blammer. Panhandlers got hammers. Imagine the niggas with bandanas is out of hand for some, but for me, it's straight cheesecake. You be safe with me and BK. Stay for 3 weeks straight. I'm Don Rocco from the Sackman block hole, Bucktown. Ain't no kung fu, more like gun fu. Kung Pao, nigga. Throw caps at you, reptiles. Kung Lao, no. Box in the dawn, sun down from one round. Listen. Do what you do. Say what you herbs gonna say. Go on hate. I keeps it 1,000 like 1/3 Andre. Come on.
Okay.
And I said last year I took my biggest loss. This year the earth gone pay. The streets want blood. And I'm serving place, performing transfusions. Like that's light but heavy right there. You understand?
Fire is too much.
You and your man's losing. The Cancun them, have them do a dance. Shoot to the spring break. You get bamboozled. Like Cancun, the Cancun you doing a dance. Shoot to the spring break. Can't you? You get washed hair, shampoo them, bamboo them, wrapped up, clap, do the dream shake. I blam Houston, Rockets. Bang zoom to the moon, or to your tomb, son. Vacate, National Lampoon, you're a peon. Like the shit I did, like the shit I did with words on that shit is like I made, like me saying it, so I haven't spit that rhyme in over a year. Just me saying it, I'm low-key amazing myself with it all over.
Yeah. No, that's what it is. So it's safe to say that's your record. That's we say it just rap. That's your favorite record.
That's my favorite rhyme on the record.
Okay. So y'all make sure y'all go check out Just Rap right after this. You got to. That's something you got
out there.
Word up. Yo, I gotta ask you too. I always wanted to ask you because we both lost brother, our partners. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. PH, R.I.P. Sean P. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me, I still hear him talking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Like it's some crazy shit. Like I hear him, like he'll be like, "Yo, son, you should do this or you should do that," or like he executive produces every album I put out. Like just from the sky, just because I be feeling his energy when I'm working on shit. You know, I just feel I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Is it the same for you when you're working on your joints? And is he a motivation for you to keep?
Yeah, for one, man, for the motivation is in our DNA. It's in our whole system of being of brotherhood. Like the Helter Skelter formula was friendly competition. It was like, don't be the corny one on the song. That's how you got everyone those dope songs. It wasn't nothing deeper than that. Nigga, don't be the corny one on the song. Go. That was the whole state of it. So, you know, and a long time ago, like right before, it was shortly before P passed away. He told us all in a group, like it was like he knew he was leaving soon. It was like we was at Steel Crib one day, and P told us all a few truths about himself that we may or may not have known, right? And one of those truths, I'm gonna only share the one about me. You know what I mean? Because all of the rest of that is other niggas. That's their personal. You know what I mean? But what he said in regards to me was like, yo, this whole Sean P run, this whole thing, like I keep getting, I'm better and better. All of this, you know, this lyrical run I've been on, all motivated by not being left by rap. You understand? But not being the corny one. Because this nigga Rock, you understand what I'm saying? Like, he got tired of being the other guy in the group, so to speak. You know what I mean? And it was like, yo, like it wasn't like hatred. It was like, no, I'm gonna get my shit up. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it up there. You know what I mean? Pause. So what and I say this, like, even in the like that friendly competition exceeds the physical. Like every day I could turn on some new, every day, any given day I could go on YouTube and find a song of Sean P's that I never heard before because he did that much work. You know what I'm saying? Hear some shit from him I never heard before. Tomorrow. I can do that tonight if I want. You know what I mean? So for me, you know, even from the grave, he's still my greatest motivation because even though he gone, I still can't be the corny one in Helter Skelter. I still can't be cool, nigga. Hell no. No. And in real life, my nigga, like I think about the nigga literally every day, son. Like literally, not a day goes by where I don't think of this nigga, son. And a lot of those days, a lot of those days it'd be rough, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the shit, like the very same thing that can bring me to tears, which it will do on a lot of those occasions. The very same energy will give me strength because when I hear him speak, it's like, you a bitch ass nigga. Stop crying. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%.
And I stopped crying. You understand what I'm saying? Like, allow myself to feel whatever it is I need to feel and like I seen one of my homegirls. I was, you know, I'm on Instagram. I was going through the stories and shit, and her story, and she had a clip in her stories from what's the white boy named Pete Davidson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pete Davidson.
Where I don't remember who was interviewing him. It might have been Charlemagne, but the nigga
you talk about from the dude from Saturday Night Live, right?
The nigga was like, the nigga asked him, he was like, yo, he's something about, he's like, how often do you feel depression? He was like, I'm depressed every day. Like every day is like when I wake up, you know what I'm saying? Like every single day. He was like, but I just know the steps to take. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, you know, he's educated himself in ways of dealing with this depression. Like, I feel like that he said that shit hit me because, you know, as strong as I am and as solid as I am, I'm not far off from that. Like, I feel depression every single day, my nigga. Every single day. But I mean, come on, son. Like we all got PTSD, son. We at an age where ain't none of us ain't not a near one of us who ain't lost somebody. You know what I mean? And in times we living in, I mean, like, you know, as we get old, everybody we know we're gonna lose everybody until we gone. So it's like that reality right there. And that reality coupled by the fucking stresses of being a black man in America, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the fucking niggas trying to force you into poverty every chance they get. They want to change your law, force you into either prison or poverty. Like, this shit is a lot on a nigga. And the smarter you are, the more you know, the more you hurt. You know, ignorance is bliss. You ain't. If I ain't know none of this shit, I could run around here and just be happy that I'm a dope nigga.
La.
Like me, you know, niggas don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? Niggas think my raps is dope. I could just fucking ride that wave, but I know too much. I've lived too much. I've hurt too much already. So you know what I mean? But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely rough. I definitely want to give a shout to PH and Sean P, man.
PH and
Titans in the game. Word up.
Like niggas don't, like a lot of niggas don't know that Helter Skelter is Team Hami. Like that's not a known fact. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a fact. You know what I mean? Like, it's family. Like PH is I think of PH regularly. You know what I'm saying? Like regularly. That shit. You understand what I'm saying? But shit, I look at that. Like, without my glasses on, that poster in my back, I see the orange and the blue. I know it's a Monster Nation poster, but all it makes me think of is the PH album, right? The
Orange Moon over Brooklyn. Yup. Shout to P, man. The P's. Shout to the P's, man. Word up. Yo, Rock, man. I want to thank you for stopping by and kicking it with us on your favorite song. You know what I'm saying? What you got popping right now? I know you just dropped the Billy Joel.
I'm so glad you asked me that because fucking because Jay would have wanted to fight me if I would have let this end without promoting this album. The Billy Joel single was out right now. That single is off the Ether Rocks album. That's the album produced fully by the Ether boy Ron Browse. So you got Rockness, Ron Browse, Ether Rocks. You understand what I'm saying? The album is dropping February 11th. And look for another joint off of there. It's gonna be a dope. We got dope surprises even in between now and then. So just focus on that. That's what's coming.
Okay. Yeah, the video dropped for Billy Joel too. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's out on Mondays and on, you know what I'm saying, and on YouTube for the Monster Mondays podcast. We got that jumping too. You know what I'm saying? So
no doubt. Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up too. Monster Mondays. Y'all make sure y'all check that out too, man. Word up. Yo, Rock, man. Salute. Love. You already know, brother.
more, bro. Speak to you soon.
Yes, sir. We here.